Good.
Landscape artist introduction, take one.
My name's David, and I own a landscape company. I don't do heavy machinery. I don't really do the digging or the planning. But I love what we do, and we've been the best in the business for over 40 years. We have amazing crews and the best design team that care as much about your landscape as I do.
I just get goosebumps when we do good work.
So watch the show. I think it's going to be fun.
I'm the general manager for the landscape artist. My job's really to keep the wheels turning on everything that we go. I organize the crews in terms of the jobs that they go to. We organize the materials that we're going to need. We ensure that we have inventories on hand for the materials that we bulk in the yard. So there's some responsibilities that go along at the office in terms of maintaining quantities in our bulk bins, whether it's gravel, soils, different loams. We have a nursery at the yard that we keep stock. So that includes choosing trees and restocking the yard so that we've got inventories on hand that when we do our jobs, we can draw on that inventory and ensure that we've got the quality of products that we want that we're going to incorporate into the landscapes. This is the second year with David full-time. I've worked with David for many years, though, when David was a sub-trade for the landscape artist, going back and he was doing our curbing and some of our artificial turf on previous jobs. So that relationship goes back for quite a ways, and David and I are certainly comfortable with working with each other when it comes to that. We've got the crews that are still doing some of the work from the curb design side of things, and David kind of manages that. So I'm not as hands-on with that, but those guys certainly, when they need some help, we're available to them to give them a hand and organize whatever they need, be it materials once again, or maybe they just need an extra shot of manpower for a day or two to wrap things up.
So James and Mildred had done work with us beforehand a few years ago, way smaller. The scale of job to what we did then to now, 10 times. But we did a really good job for them, so they called us up to do this second iteration of their family, right? Their kids are a little bit older, jobs maybe a little bit more affluent, we don't know. That stuff I never know about clients, but they bought this pie-shaped lot in a high-end area. It was a huge lot. So much could happen here. The creative juices started flowing immediately when we saw it. And obviously they're wonderful. Repeat clients that we get to see again. We've always done a good job beforehand, and now we're here because we did that, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you know, you did this last time, that was this, but we want it to be here. And this was James and Mildred this time. So they came to us with a lot of fancy ideas about hosting dinner parties, having people over, and the real unique thing was this fireplace that also had this, traditionally we would call it an Argentinian grill. For Mildred, we're going to call it a Colombian grill. So it's a grill that you have a crank on the side where you crank up and down, and it's open embers or fire to cook from. And this is really something special in Calgary. There's probably only 2 or 3 of these in the area. So this is unique to them, and it's really something special.
This is the camera job that's going to have the most exciting fireplace in the city, the Guacho Grill. We're going to be back really soon. This is a pool that has 2 feet of water in it, and we're going to send the crews back here in 2-3 weeks to start finishing this, which is awesome because we were able to do 6 weeks of work through the winter, and that's going to cut it down. They're going to be enjoying this before June. Talk to me how we went from here to here so that we're on the same page, because I'm going to see him tomorrow and I'm going to walk him through everything. So how do we go from this not great sketch to this beautiful project?
Well, the not great sketch is basically your concept, your vision, David.
Yes.
So this is what I take to the site to orientate myself, collect all my data. Well, what we do next would be something like this.
Yeah.
Where we've got the site all mapped out and we can collaborate drawing
And one of the things we did is we kind of shift this around here because over here we know that there was a deck for privacy. This being a really unique yard where we needed privacy from, if I can recall, there was a deck here, and then deck. So a lot of this stuff. So that was really the first, second stage of chicken scratch was here. And then obviously cleaning this up just to make it really easy to maintain. And then we just needed to rotate that a little bit to create privacy.
So this design was unique in a few ways. We kind of had to, on a large yard like this, we have to kind of tell people what you should and shouldn't do, which sounds arrogant, but it's not. You shouldn't do this, you should do this, because it's about what's really good for the yard and what's structurally sound.
How do we move on from this then to here? We did another preliminary.
We did a series of preliminaries, but one of the major things we had to focus on with this one was the design of the gaucho and the fireplace combination outdoor kitchen.
We spent a lot of time on this, and then last minute, I think the day before we were going, they tried to add a double fireplace.
We explored the option of doing a double, which ended up, I think it looked okay for what it was, but not as nice as what we ended up
The
with.
center column, really beautiful design-wise. That makes way more sense. Balance looks really good. This would have given them the fireplace, a pizza oven, and the grill, right? You know, and this could have been used to use the gaucho grill as well as pizza oven, whatever, but just didn't look as good. So once we finally sent it to them, we vetoed it.
We're back on site here over in the west end of the city, and you might be wondering why we're a landscaping show and there's all this white stuff on the ground here.
If we can squeeze in one more job like this for the winter, it's great for these people because they're not waiting for a month in the summertime.
Your experience with Legacy Kitchen starts with a visit to our showroom, where our designers and craftsmen are committed to creating a kitchen that suits your home and lifestyle. We coordinate every aspect of the design and renovation process, taking you from an idea to reality. For over 3 decades, we have proudly served Calgary homeowners and home builders with premium kitchen design and renovations. Legacy Kitchens, we are with you all the way.
Hi, I'm Pete the Plumber. You might be surprised to see me without little Dino in this gorgeous kitchen. I'm here with Mike from Tally Renovations.
Thanks, Pete. We are really proud of it. It is beautiful. More importantly, it's built right. So many homeowners here in Calgary have talked to us about their horrible experiences with renovations. These same homeowners come to us for the excellent service and high level of quality that they know we deliver.
And that is why Mike is one of the top guys I always refer.
Tally Renovations. Beautiful spaces, built right. When you have a Canada outdoor kitchen, you get more out of life. Add a whole new dimension to how you use and enjoy your home. Enjoy family and friends, and extend your outdoor cooking, dining, and living experience all year round. Canada Outdoor Kitchens. Dream big, live well.
We're back on site here over in the west end of the city, and you might be wondering why we're a landscaping show and there's all this white stuff on the ground here. But we're going to show you one of the ways we're innovating landscaping year-round. These clients here are people that we did some work for 5 or 6 years ago, and they called us back, and we get that a lot because this is the type of work that we're doing. We're trying to speed things up for springtime for them and keep working. We're basically a week away from Christmas, and we're here building what will become one of Calgary's greatest fireplaces. What's really cool about this one is that it's going to have an Argentinian grill beside it as well, and wood storage on both sides. So you can see here the way that we've allowed this work to continue is to tent and hoard in this structure with heat, where it gets to the point you could work with a t-shirt and shorts inside that tent.
So this is pretty
representation on this one, just a little bit of furniture. We were trying to get the scale correct in terms of...
Just show them where they can sit.
Yeah, because part of this structure will also serve to give them some privacy and enclosure.
Yeah.
But also nice and open for lots of entertainment space.
So this structure here is what we call hoarding or tarping. So those are the kind of the 2 words used to heat something in Calgary, because the biggest problem we have in Calgary is we have long winters and short summers. So this allows us to keep working.
And I think this was the last one too, where they asked for a water feature, and we were able to add that in to call it Serenity something down here, where it's a little bit further away from the everyday usage of cooking, the upper deck cooking, fireplace. This is where you go, read a book, glass of wine, listen to the water bubbler, get that sound, right, that kind of thing.
That was for her, that's her space, right?
That is for her space. Well, James probably just works too hard, so he's gonna go out in here and cook when she makes it.
As you can see, now we're inside this tent, and we have the masons working over here right now. It's -10 outside, and they're working in just a normal sweater. And we're able to do all of our construction for this whole fireplace. You can see there'll be a big structure here. This is the dampener, this is the refractory brick, and there's gonna be wood storage on either sides. And right now, let's talk to the masons, because they're building right now the fire brick for the Argentinian grill. So Darwin, what do we got going on here?
Well, we're just putting in the floor right now for the grill. We're going about 4 inches wider on each side for it to accommodate the walls, as well out of fire brick on the back.
Awesome.
That'll be done first, the floor, then the block work around up to that. This is an Alberta sandstone, and we also used a used antique red brick we're using on the corners. Those are going to be staggered like a coin corner, like this all the way up, and the stonework built into that.
Yeah.
We're going to use the antique red brick on the arch on the fireplace as well, and
Fabulous.
all the corners.
Wow, that's going to look really nice. So we kind of have a bit of that, you mentioned earlier, the old world look to it, with a bit of that red brick trim on the sandstone.
Yeah,
right?
very much. Yeah,
That's amazing.
A lot of that you see in Europe and places like that, where it's 300-400-year-old masonry. And that's what we wanted to kind of get a look of that. That the thing wasn't built yesterday, but it's been here for quite some time.
And how long does a project like this normally take? This is a little bit bigger than most of the fireplaces we built, right?
Yeah. Well, this takes probably, in the summertime, about a month. About 4 weeks of the two of us working on it.
Right, right.
In the winter, it's a little longer because of the hoarding restricting your movement and the ability to store stuff in here and keep it above freezing for the next day. So you're loading the area a lot more often than you normally would in the summer. If we can squeeze in one more job like this for the winter, it's great for these people, because they're not waiting for a month in the summertime.
Absolutely, because we'd be waiting for a month at the start of the season, but it's also great for any of the trades too, not just you guys that do it, but you can keep working when we otherwise can't, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you can see that this is the back of the refractory box for the fireplace itself. So that refractory brick will push out heat, and it can withstand high heat. So we can get roaring fires in here. And what you're seeing now is what we were describing earlier, a beautiful Alberta sandstone with the corners and the red brick trim that you see in that old world European look, 300-400-year-old castle, really beautiful, right? Adding a little bit of accents. It's those little things that we don't always think of, right? So the masons we're working with here are the best in the city, and they do about 4 or 5 projects like this a year for us. And we're trying to push more stuff, because this is the type of little extras that we get working with professionals.
Putting in a floor like this, you put it on normal mortar. When we build the firebox, we do the floor the same way. The reason is for the heat, expansion and contraction. These bricks have to be, although they're very solid, they have to have that slight crack in there for expansion and contraction while it's heating up and cooling down. The firebox is the same. The walls, you use a fire treated, it's called a refractory glue. And it's basically as tight as this, but it's just a small dab of glue on the contact points. And again, it's just to hold everything together. The skeleton does the bulk of the lateral strength work, but the fire bricks still have to be. They're under tremendous heat and tremendous pressure in there.
So this will be the second one of its kind in Calgary. The other one exists only at a high-end restaurant downtown. What it is it's a Argentinian grill, and on this side it has the box that you will put the wood in to create the embers. So the fire will be in a little black box on this side here, and once it gets up and really hot and the embers break down, you shovel it out and you put it underneath. And this is a big rack with a wheel on the side, so you can cook over fire and raise and lower it the whole time. So it will be an inset unit, and at the end of all of it, we will custom fabricate an aluminum cover for it all, so it could be used in adverse weather conditions, which is, as you can see in Calgary, is a thing that we have to tolerate. So right now the centerpiece, which is going to be the glorious piece of this fireplace, will be about 10 or 11 feet tall. So right now we're only at about that 5-foot range, and it'll be about as wide, 8 feet wide, kind of everything is 8 feet, the centerpiece, and then there's 2 little pillar sections on the side here. There'll be a beautiful countertop here, and then this will be used for wood storage underneath here. So you can see we have some of that red brick on the bottom again as accent. Beautiful sandstone going around the outside, followed by the red brick trim. On this side here, we have a little less wood storage area just because we had to build in the inset for the Argentinian grill. But again, some beautiful accents, beautiful countertops going on both sides, and this will be one of the best looking fireplaces in the city.
When we met with them, there was options for an area here, an area there, and a pathway here, and all this kind of stuff. But what we wanted was a hosting area.
Welcome to Pacific Hut, where great food and great people come together. Classic Filipino dishes and delicious all-day breakfasts in comforting Filipino-style cooking. Bring your family and come in today. Pacific Hut.
We need to replace our kitchen cabinets.
You've come to the right place.
We have an idea, but
You can sit down with one of our designers. That's one way we try to make your life easier.
I don't want to be assembling cabinets on my weekend.
Hey, the only Ellen you'll ever need is that guy.
Renovating is fast and easy with the help of our cabinet experts.
I love these cabinets.
No longer a contractor's best kept secret. We provide pre-assembled cabinets right here in the great city of Calgary. Get your cabinets right here.
I've done a major renovation before, and I met them, and I was just so comfortable with them. Well, this is my sanctuary, and I want a peaceful, quiet place. I wanted a place that's welcoming. I love having company, and especially my family. That's the most important thing. Every Sunday, usually my family's here. And I just wanted a place where we can all be together.
So it seems patchwork, orange, white tarps, all that kind of stuff, but we can get it to 20, 25 degrees in there so that we can do really niche types of work for landscaping. We won't typically hoard in a whole site. You can see the rest of the site. We didn't get much done. Winter hit a little aggressively for us this year, but we were able to get this retaining wall in over here. This will become the future dog run. It'll be artificial grass. We weren't able to get that in this year, so we have a temporary solution here just for the homeowners and their dog. But this is a beautiful little wall that will be able to be blocked in so we can keep all the dog urine and everything in one place.
But that shows the layering of how we were able to get to something, and then this is the plan that we delivered to the clients. So a lot of the things that we actually went back and forth on too was how to properly design a dog run for people carved into a slope. So a lot of people are spending a lot of money towards dog run stuff because, you know, it needs to be usable through winter.
You've always heard about dog runs. They're, you know, one of these things that were really popular in the past in just a dead area of your house or an area in the grass that you could not get the dog to stop peeing and pooping in, and it ruined all the grass. Now there's something that we implement into our designs. If you have a dog and you're going to do some really nice landscaping or a high-end project, you don't want to see that dead grass anywhere. So the number one questions we always get asked when you have pets, not just dog specific, is that how do we get rid of the smell? Because dog runs over time can start to smell. So the number one answer to that is use a proper pet infill or a pet product. Some of them have mold resistant backing to them. So one of the products that we use has that all the time. It's one of our favorites, Paw Pro. And then zeolite, of course, is the mineral, and I've talked about that before. It breaks down the bacteria and it kills the smell of dog urine. But in this case here, you can fully enclose it so it could be used maybe while you're out or while you're entertaining. You want the pet outside the house, right? Or the open concept one is if you're okay with your dog going back and forth or you train the animal to go there, then of course it does get out of the way for you. Come out through the garage door. It's all locked up, right? So you can let the dog run around, do the business. A great usage of a side yard, right? The chain link fence that comes in. We even put a few lights in here so it can be illuminated, used year-round, used at night. You can see it comes around to an even bigger area here. So all these things that we do for our dogs because we love them as well.
Here we had to develop a whole retaining wall. It's super sleek, it's modern, it's almost done right now, but because it's a walkout, this is the door we came in, but originally we had it on the slope and we kind of threw out every idea, but I'm really happy with this because it is something you use 4 or 5 times a day when you're at home.
And in the winter, it needs to be cleaned and shoveled and so forth. It has to be close to the house.
So here's another example of what a dog run can look like. An otherwise not useful side of the yard near the front of the house. Here we are for code at the front of the house. We have to have the fence down to 4 foot high, but totally doable with the dog run. See the beautiful fence, right? This dog run, an area that normally you'd never do anything with. Just a nice fence with clean artificial grass. We've got the gate right here, really close to the garage man door, so you come straight through the garage, dead of winter, let out the dog, right in the dog run. Super easy to clean up, super easy to blow out, super easy to rinse, and just another example of what a dog run could look like. You know, you can make a dog run look beautiful when you're kind of designing the whole thing. So beautiful fence and gate structure, locked up, leave the dog in here for a little bit, really nice hardware, and again, just kind of upgrading our normal everyday items that we use, but making them look beautiful and making them a little bit more special. It just looks really stunning.
When we met with them, there was options for an area here, an area there, and a pathway here, and all this kind of stuff. But what we wanted was a hosting area. Family, friends, mattered to them to have them over and have an area that could house all of them with the fire roaring, with the cooking on the Guacho grill, right? And also, we created a separate area that Mildred really wanted, down yonder, glass of wine, cup of tea, reading a book, getting the latest gossip on Calgary and what's happening and all these kind of things, but also creating privacy. So the thing with a pie-shaped lot is you have house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4, house 5. So we had to create all these privacy blocks in multiple areas for them that would grow in over time. And so for them, it was just about what they wanted was an area to host a lot of people, have a lot of fun with family and friends, fire roaring, cooking specialty stuff over here, and also have this privacy from around. And during that design process, we really worked on that. That was the thing that went back and forth. How are we going to create privacy from here? But how are we going to create one of the most enjoyable social areas in Calgary with a wood-burning fire, with a wood-burning cooking apparatus that most people aren't used to in Calgary, in a place where we're not known for that. The whole design process revolved around creating this thing that doesn't exist in Calgary. And that's the fun part. So we were able to do that, Clayton and I, we worked back and forth on it, talked to the homeowners, you know, did these designs, emailed, you know, have them scribe on things, send it back, and then update and all that. And that was really the fun part.
Hi, I'm Pete the Plumber, here with Mike from Tally Renovations. Mike, how do you tackle kitchens?
Kitchens are really, really important. They're the absolute heart of the home, so they take a little extra time and care to get it right, because it's really the hub for your family, for your friends, and it's the gathering place for everything that you do.
And with that attitude, that's why I always recommend Mike from Tally Renovations.
Tally Renovations. Beautiful spaces built right.
Got food cravings, Calgary? Introducing Ditch the Kitch, an Alberta-grown company here to bring you your fave dishes from restaurants across the city. Go ahead, spoil your cravings, and ditch the kitsch.
I love this.
We Calgarians take pride in our work, in our outdoor spaces, and we put a lot of time and effort into making comfortable, beautiful homes.
Can't wait.
We also love our water features.
Beautiful.
And that's where we come in.
From crazy indoor water features to crafting your own outdoor nature paradise.
That's what we do. Join us as we show you what you can have with some imagination,
heavy machinery,
and skillful hands.
We are
Water by Design.
I just get goosebumps when we do good work.
So there's only a few things we can do in winter. Arguably a very short list actually. And that is anything that's topical, because this winter was a really particular bad one, but even a normal one, frost gets down to be 3 or 4 feet. So anything that requires a base prep or a solid base to work on, we can't do. because we can't carve it up, we can't put new things in. But this one here, we were able to do the base prep before winter hit, put the foundation on, and then wrap it in tarps. We had summer weather with minimal tarping, with a little bit of wood framing, and all of a sudden we could keep working. So we can get outdoor kitchens, we can get outdoor fireplaces, we can get, you know, these outdoor structures, some of these things done every winter if we know where that's coming, right? With a little bit of premeditated planning for the foundation, for the base, all of a sudden we can heat the upper part and make it so we can do it through winter.
Here we are back in Lake Bonavista, a job that was done a few years ago. You can see everything has kind of matured and grown in. You've seen some of the footage of the putting green and the fireplace and the water feature. You know, the spireas are in, the Annabelle hydrangeas, the willows, the lilacs, all these things are in their kind of heyday. You know, 3, 4, 5 years later, some of these sites, they look so flourished, and that's what we wanted to show you. It's just as a bit of a montage to who we are as a company, as the landscape artists. Take a look at the work even years later, and that's the quality that we want to show you. That's what we want to show Calgary, that landscaping can be really good, can be really amazing, and you don't need to change things 5, 8, 10 years later, because that's what the design is supposed to do. Fill in, be flush, and you're not yanking things out and undoing things and things like that because they look really good for 2 or 3 years. But take a look at this, how full it looks, a little bit of that English tumbled garden look to it. Because we have the humidity from the water feature, things are growing even nicer around the fireplace, the sitting area, the putting green, of course. And again, all this maturity, it's just so beautiful. It's something that, you know, in that 4 to 5 year window, that's when we want the call back. Oh my goodness, everything looks so good now. And it's just an exceptional backyard to come and sit in inside the city. Who would have thought you'd have this kind of oasis? We have the hot tub in behind us, and of course we have lots of privacy from the Schubert choke cherry that's been here for a little while, and the birch, right? So again, you're in there, you're in your bathing suit, it's private, you're hearing this noise, not the neighbors, not the cars in the back alley, not the kids down the street. You're just in there, and it's extremely private. And of course, everything's doing really well here and thriving. And that's what we want out of any yard we come back to 4 or 5 years later. You have the gas riser as well. If you ever needed like a heater to go with the dining room set here, just put one of those umbrella heaters or a bromic heater or something like that, that will just make eating outside just a little bit more nice. This is one of those yards we really wanted to show you many years later, stands the test of time, and has a little bit of everything: a water feature, a putting green, a fireplace, a spa area or hot tub area, an outdoor dining room, and the lighting package, and mature growth coming in beautifully long down the line since we've ever been here.
So in this case here, we ended up getting going last fall, and it was doing this amount of work before winter that would make it so that you're using the job and it is done and completed before summer. Right, so we did a few things there where we did all the grading, did all the site prep, taking out all the old infill, putting crush in, creating the foundation for this fireplace and cooking area so that they could heat and hoard it over winter. We could get that done because that was almost a 6-week project, because sometimes it's pour a foundation, wait a couple weeks, build on top of it, pour some more work, wait a couple weeks, do the masonry stone. So in this case, that was this, because it was so big, so fancy, so elaborate, but we were able to do it over winter. So what happened was that instead of having 6 or 8 weeks to wait for in spring, we could do all of the rest of the landscaping, and now they're using it come mid-June, which is the wonderful thing that we're able to do about landscaping. When you have these higher end projects, we can make it that if you're starting in fall, we'll get this thing done, this thing done, this thing done. Instead of taking 2-3 months to do a high-end project, we're only a month to do it.
Here we are back on the west side of the city for one of the jobs that we believe is one of the best things in the city.